Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be the first of a best of 5 series. This is going to be the semi-finals of the A1's Warcraft 3 World Championships, named King of Kings. This is going to be a battle between Rising Star's Tho, representing China, and his opponent, who is IAM's WFZ, also representing China. Not really representing the countries because it's not really an international tournament, but either way. Yep, Tho versus WFZ. Tho's going to be spawning as the purple human player on the bottom right. WFZ is the red undead. Before I get into this game and the specifics on the actual playoffs, I want to go and round off the score on the Group A and Group B results. So obviously the top two, I guess, players that perform the best in their respective groups will be able to advance to the playoffs, and obviously Tho and WFZ is one of those players. Tho getting himself that Archmage and Death Knight for WFZ. Alright, back to the scores. So in Group A, it wasn't really that strong of a group, but either way, Yumiko and WFZ is going, or did make through to the playoffs with three wins each and 1 loss apiece. Loliet was behind them with 2 wins and 2 losses, and AWC and Focus unfortunately only got 1 win and 3 losses. That was Group A. Surprising that Focus was so underperforming. He was the only orc player that was in the entire tournament, so a little depressing. At Group B we have Tho and, Tho, he hasn't even dropped a single game, which was incredibly impressive. Following behind him was Moon, able to only drop 1 game so far, 1 series, sorry. And then Infi is next with 2 wins, 2 losses, Elegant, 1 win, 3 losses, and Lucifer, yes, probably my favorite undead, 0 wins and 4 losses. I was completely gobsmacked about that, but oh well. Anyway, WFZ, where do you see that Death Knight? There he is. Doesn't look like he was able to pressure too much. I would imagine him using at least a single Death Coil, as his mana pool seems to indicate that. Archmage very close to level 4, level 2. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not really too much has happened when I was going over the score. So yeah, it is going to be a best of 5. Hopefully we will have plenty of games, because I'm worried about running out, because unfortunately I didn't actually get paid this last month, so I'm a little depressed. Either way, oh wow, WFZ bringing his Death Knight into a rather dangerous round. Probably will be forced to use the TV scroll. Oh, will he be able to break this round? No, he will not. He will be able to live on with 2 health, though, so yeah. That was probably foolish of him to try and rush down the Archmage. To be fair, it will mean that Archmage is going to be very low health. Nothing an Arcane Vault could fix, however. However, Undead, not exactly the same story, because there is pretty much no health regenerating items for tier 1 Undead either way. He does need that tier 2, which he is getting, so I don't know. Just needs to be careful, try not to get into the same predicament as before. Oh, Archmage is going to chase down that Death Knight. However, the skeletons are more important. Level 2 has been gained, and level 3 is slowly following through. Level 2 elementals would not probably be not. Let's try again. Would probably not be WFZ's ideal opponent to go up against.
Player's forces are under
Okay,
attack.
killing a sheep and spawning 2 skeletons out of it. Of course it makes sense. Anyway, we did have baggage being researched before. I don't think that was cancelled, so ghouls, corrupt fiends, they all have inventories, as we can see here. Now, though, he really wants to place down the expand, and he actually did so. Not really pressured by the skeletons coming in from WFZ's Death Knight, and rightfully so. This Death Knight hasn't really been doing that much. I'm actually surprised he even got a bit of experience, but that's because he was long distance creeping, I think. No, he was not even doing that. Was able to pick off a straggling footman somehow. Anyway, it looks like the entire creep camp but the red drake would be taken out. I don't... Unless Tho... Maybe Tho does have enough damage. He does have level 2 elemental as well as the berserkers, so red drake might even be taken out. I always think because it's just a dragon it's very powerful, but well, apparently not. The item is going to be the Sobi mask, probably kept for the possible tier 2 or second hero. I mean, WFZ able to get a death coil on a single peasant, and he was able to take down a second one, I believe. I think that explains for his experience. I might be wrong, but either way, he is going to be brushed off by Tho once again. Tho clearly showing how he went 4-0 in his qualifiers, and the ledge is coming out for WFZ. Tho, he is playing very strong, as any human would, I guess, typically do. We have a lumber mill on its way. I guess guard towers are needed eventually. Sentry wards have been picked up for the Archmage, and WZ needs to be careful with his DK. He has, oh wow, Frost Nova able to steal one of those berserkers. However, the item is gonna be on the Archmage. Archmage, you know, level 4, Death Knight, not even past level 2. That's one of the problems as being undead. You usually see undead players just struggle so much getting that Death Knight to high levels, especially especially since Death Knight's just such a powerful hero later on, because with his level 2, level 3 death coils, they can pretty much save us like any unit from death. There we go with the Nova Coil to take down one of the Shadow Priests, but I mean, that could be like useful mana later on. Maybe even go after this Archmage himself. Anyway, Central is just going to be placed down at the foot of the base, and we're going to have another elemental being spawned right here. Might even pick off a Crypt Fiend. No, that's not going to happen, as the Death Coil is going to be used for the healing. If only that Sober Mask was on that Death Knight, he would really enjoy it, but that is not going to be the case, because I don't think Tho wants to give that Sobi Mask to the Death Knight at all. Finally, level 2 has been gained on the Death Knight, so he will be able to regenerate some health alongside with those statues and the Unholy Aura. Let's look at Tho. He is about there in tier 2. Places down a fair amount of towers in his main expand as well, and he is sitting on quite a bit of gold. So it looks like the transition into tier 2 production is looking rather good. And he might even tackle this red creep camp, but apparently he has other plans on his mind. I guess his expand might be in some danger. The towers not exactly reaching this area of the base, so it's going to be rather difficult to try and defend this. And the Crypt Fiends are also going straight after the constructing towers. Blacksmith has been placed down, but it looks like it might be forced to be cancelled. However, Tho's just going to rush it down against WFZ's main base. We have one Spirit Tower, a Nubian Tower, and a Black Citadel. The Tomb of Relics is going to be the first building to be rushed. We have 3 destroyers in the air for WFZ. Meanwhile, the ground army is going back to try and defend his one and only base. Acolytes being pulled off to try and just repair the Spirit Tower, but yeah, it looks like Tho might have to go for a TP scroll here if he wants to run away. Or he might even just suicide these footmen to try and deal as much damage as possible and free up some space back at home. But Tho, ooh, these triple destroyers are very, very troublesome. Might even take down these 2 guard towers in time. No, Orbs of Annihilation are not available as the destroyers have no mana. It looks like the footmen are going to be abandoned, going after those acolytes, triple or double ornamentals, and the double guard towers were able to be finished. And yeah, just push away against those destroyers. I would imagine, seeing as we have a blacksmith, maybe go workshops and then flying machines. That might not be the most resource efficient way of spending your hard-earned cash, but thing is though, it doesn't look like he has any hard-earned cash. He's gonna go straight into Castle Tech. A rather risky move, especially since his opponent is knocking on his doorstep. This is going to be rather difficult to hold, especially since WFZ is not that dumb in attacking in guard tower's range, or at least any tower's range. Elemental's trying to deal some damage, trying to snipe one of these ziggurats before expiring. Oh, until destroyers come in, and then ornamentals are absolutely useless against the undead. TP staff will be used to try and get out of there, and I mean, you would assume he would go after this red creep camp, and he is actually going to go for it. I was gonna say he looked like he was gonna do reasonable job, but it looks like WFZ is going to be the recipient of that item. It is going to be a healing ward, and apparently he has a second stack as well. He apparently sniped the top on it, so that's good to know. So that's rather depressing. Both red creep camp items were healing totems. Not sure if I like the quality of that item. Level 3 on that Lich, the item is going to be a Pendant of Energy, I believe. Yeah, it looks like that would be the item being picked up. Though, what is he thinking of doing? He played rather strong early on, and he might even resort into triple Griffin Aviaries. He is going to go for those Dragonhawk Riders. I don't think he can go for those Griffins just quite yet, as he is not finished in that Castle Tech, but once he does, maybe he might go Griffins. I mean, some people consider that they might not be the best, or maybe even the efficient way of using your resources, but who knows what this will actually entail. We have a Pally coming down on the for the third hero for it though, so he really wants to rely on those heroes as well as the high-tech units coming out soon. Cloud is being researched in order for those Dragonhawk Riders to go or try and siege the Black Citadel as well as the towers, though might even be forced to retreat back here because if not, his Griffin Aviaries, his one and only saving grace, might be taken out. Guard towers are doing a fair amount of damage, but so are those healing wards. The wards are healing fair amount of damage on those destroyers, and of course, if the healing wards are not enough, the Death Knight can finish. Meanwhile, it looks like to be a base race here, but the Dragon Rider is not the best of units to siege buildings, especially with this amount of destroyers and just the sustain from these statues, as well as double Griffins. But WFZ is going to lose that Tomb of Relics. Though is trying, but I'm not sure if Cloud is enough. I mean, Dragon Riders, meh, they are piercing, and they are 2-0. Finally, we have some Griffin Riders coming out, but will they be finished in time? That's what I'm wondering. What I'm going to assume, though, is trying to do is just try and all in, or at least try to get a reasonably big army and try to just base race. Either way, a lot of acolytes being taken out, though not quite yet at level 5 on his Archmage, so level 3 elementals not coming in this game anytime soon. We do have any Griffins on their way? I don't know, but ooh, Paladin able to heal up the Dragonhawk Rider. TB scroll coming from the Archmage, but one of the Dragon Riders will be taken out, and that will be that. Actually, did he cancel the Griffins? He might have actually cancelled Griffins. Oh, that's depressing. I honestly thought that they would be able to come out in time. Oh well, triple Griffin Aviaries are producing Griffin Riders. And Tho can actually afford to do that. He can afford to probably train 2 more before running out of resources, but it is all good.
A player's forces are under attack.
Nope, Destroyer needs to be careful. I believe it can be shackled by those Dragonhawk Riders. But the question is Shackles actually researched? Who knows? Actually, does Shackles actually need researching? I know Cloud does, I'm not sure about Shackles. Anyway, we have 2-1 Griffin Riders. They pack quite a punch. More punch than the Destroyers, obviously. And I believe these guys are faster, who knows. Either way, ooh, Scout Towers unable to be turned into Guard Towers. Those main base might be under siege once again. But same thing goes for WFZ. Cloud is trying to deal as much damage as possible, but you know, that's saying a lot for these Dragonhawk Riders. When are we going to see those Griffins coming into play here? Here we go with the Griffins. Paladin trying to heal up the Dragonhawk Rider as much as possible, and GG from WFZ apparently. So, ooh, so Tho is able to outlast his opponent. I honestly thought Tho might have been in danger, but WFZ saw that maybe if he lost his main base and Tho lost his main base, he would still lose because Tho still had his expand. Either way, that's going to be game 1. I will see you guys in game 2. Yeah,